Did you know that in Red Dead Redemption, in the trailers, John Marston looked much younger and thinner than in the final game? Did you know that in Five Nights at Freddy's, Freddy Fazbear is the first animatronic in the series to have an official last name, the second being Happy Frog, the third being Ned Bear, the fourth being Orville Elephant, the fifth being Roxanne Wolf, and Montgomery Gator being the sixth? Did you know that in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, in Diamond is Unbreakable, it's stated in the manga that Jotaro was the one who named Josuke's stand Crazy Diamond? So that means one of two things: either Josuke never named his stand, or he gave it some ridiculous name that Jotaro made him change. Did you know that Bowser likes them thick? In one of the short animations for Mario Wonder, Bowser witnesses Peach turn into her elephant form, and wow, man is not complaining at all. Did you know that when The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess came out on the Wii, the whole game was mirrored? This was done because this version had motion controls and generally people are right-handed. From a programming standpoint, it was just easier to flip the entire map instead of having to redo assets to compensate for Link now being right-handed. Did you know that Super Mario has had many jobs in his career? His first job ever was as a carpenter in Donkey Kong before becoming a plumber in Mario Brothers. However, in the many years since 1981, Mario has also been a doctor, an artist, a construction worker, a boxing referee, a toy maker, and even a teacher. Let's just say that his resume is incredibly extensive. Did you know that Pac-Man was originally called Puck-Man? This comes from the Japanese phrase paku paku taberu, which means to gobble something up. However, when the game was imported into the US, the name was changed to Pac-Man after Midway feared that kids would scrape off the letter P and change it to an F. I mean, they weren't wrong. Did you know that in Mega Man, there were 3 Robot Masters that were cut from the final game? These consisted of Oil Man, who was cut due to technical limitations and was reimagined for Mega Man Powered Up; Bubble Man, who was planned for the game but was eventually redesigned into Ice Man. However, we did get a different Bubble Man for Mega Man 2. And finally, the most infamous, Bon Man. He was a robot that was based on a tube of adhesive, and his weapon would have stopped enemies in place. He was planned to appear in Powered Up, but Keiji Inafune decided to leave him out and create a Time Man instead. Did you know that the Nintendo GameCube has 2 secret startup sounds? This one plays if you hold down Z on one controller, and this one plays if you hold down Z on all 4 controllers. Amazing! Did you know that in Minecraft, mobs can't see you through glass? Really? Are you guys serious? Well, no one said they were the brightest. Did you know that in Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, the achievement for killing a Sasquatch is named 6 Years in the Making, a reference to GTA San Andreas' Bigfoot myth and the number of years the game was released before Undead Nightmare. The French version of the achievement makes it even more clear because it translates as, "No need to seek it anymore, CJ." Did you know that in The Legend of Zelda, Shigeru Miyamoto named the princess after novelist and painter Zelda Fitzgerald, who was the wife of F. Scott Fitzgerald, most famously known for The Great Gatsby? Did you know that in Minecraft, 1 block is 1 meter tall in real life, 1 meter is 3 feet tall, and a chicken in-game is almost the size of a block? I don't know about you, but a 3-foot tall chicken sounds scary. Did you know that the American Gothic painting does not depict a husband and wife, but a farmer and his daughter? Did you know that in Sonic the Hedgehog, the reason Sonic can't swim is because Yuji Naka thought that hedgehogs couldn't swim? They can. As for the in-game reason, Sonic never took swimming lessons. Did you know that in Donkey Kong, in the arcade version, if you get close enough to Donkey Kong on the left side of the screen, you can repeatedly get 100 points? You basically have to be slightly in front of his foot, and for some reason this counts as jumping over him. Did you know that in Red Dead Redemption 2, Arthur and John have different sounds for their Deadeye, with Arthur sounding like a ticking clock and John sounding like a heartbeat? John's obviously comes from the first game, while Arthur's represents his limited time. Did you know that in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, in JoJonium Volume 8, Araki stated that the inspiration for Jotaro Kujo came from his love of Clint Eastwood? Even his trademark pose was inspired by Eastwood pointing his .44 Magnum in the movie Dirty Harry. Did you know that Dead Rising is the only game in the series to be made by Capcom? All the other entries were made by Canadian-based affiliate Capcom Vancouver. Well, that explains why no other Dead Rising game ever felt quite the same as the first one. Did you know that in Fallout 3, if you choose to blow up Megaton, you need to get the strength bobblehead first, as the explosion will destroy Lucas Sims' house, rendering the bobblehead inaccessible? Did you know that Super Mario has his own day? March 10th is known as Mario Day, and it is celebrated by fans of the franchise around the world. The holiday was created because the abbreviation for March 10th looks like the name Mario when written out. Did you know that the Hydrox cookies are generally referred to as an off-brand Oreo? The fact of the matter is that Oreos came out 4 years after Hydrox as an imitation cookie, which would later surpass Hydrox in popularity, resulting in said reputation. Did you know that in Fallout 4, Codsworth can refer to the player by name, as Bethesda has recorded over 1,000 popular names for use in-game, some of them being very funny. Mr. That one's my favorite. Did you know that the Super Mario Bros. Movie from 1993 was the first feature-length live-action film based on a video game? Too bad it was such a complete dumpster fire. Did you know that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind takes place over the span of only 9 days? It begins on March 29th and ends on April 6th of the same year, 2001. Did you know that pizza was originally considered a peasant food in Italy, but it became popular among the upper classes after Queen Margherita tried it and declared it her favorite food? Did you know that Knuckles the Echidna was not the first echidna to appear in any Sonic media of any continuity? It was actually an echidna named Eric. Yep, just Eric. And he predated Knuckles by a year, albeit as a robotic echidna, with his appearance in the book Sonic the Hedgehog in the Fourth Dimension written by Martin Adams. I would show a picture, but it's an actual book, as in no pictures. Did you know that Link from The Legend of Zelda takes inspiration from Disney's Peter Pan? In a 2012 Game Cult interview, Shigeru Miyamoto stated that despite the NES's limitations, they wanted to make a recognizable character. The character's sword and shield needed to be visible, so they decided to give him big ears and a long hat. This led to him becoming an elf, which reminded them of Peter Pan, and since Miyamoto loves Disney, he figured that the green outfit Peter wears would work well for Link. Did you know that Dr. Seuss's name is actually pronounced Seuss? According to Alexander Lang, a college friend of Seuss, the correct pronunciation is Seuss, which rhymes with voice. Lang even created a little poem sharing the correct way to pronounce the author's name. You're wrong as the deuce. You shouldn't rejoice. If you're calling him Seuss, he pronounces it Seuss or Zois. Did you know that Santa Claus has his own Canadian postal code? In Canada, the postal code Ho 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 is designated for Santa at the North Pole. Every year, Canadian children can send their letters to this address to receive a personalized reply from Santa through Canada Post Santa Letter Writing Program.